So on this day in 1999, Thierry Henry scored the first of his record 228 goals for the club. In this video I look back at that day and also analyse his early career at Arsenal. Hello, I'm Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. Now in this video I just really want to look back at this day in 1999 to mark the anniversary of the first goal that Thierry Henry scored for the club. Just before I do that, I just really want to make sure that you're all subscribing to the channel. If you like what I'm doing, please click the subscribe button down below, and also as well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well, because that really helps me to grow the channel, get the video noticed as well, so that would be really much appreciated. So I'll say this day, the 18th of September 1999, 21 years ago. Can you believe that? Wow, it makes you feel old, doesn't it? Of course, Thierry Henry scored his first goal for the club in a game at Southampton, of course, down at the Dell. Now, if you remember, it was that summer, August 1999, that Thierry Henry had joined Arsenal from Juventus. The fee was around £11 million. He'd only been at Juventus actually since the previous January. He'd only played 16 games for the club, scored just 3 goals. Never really settled there at all. Of course, Arsene Wenger knew Henry from his time at Monaco. Of course, Thierry Henry had started his career at Monaco. He made 141 appearances for them, scored 28 goals, playing mainly on the wing. Now, he'd also been a part of the French squad that won the 1998 World Cup on home soil, and in fact, he was their top scorer in that tournament. But again, he'd been playing mainly on the wing. But Arsene Wenger had said that he'd bought him to play as a central striker, as basically the replacement for Nicolas Anelka, who had of course moved on to PSG that summer for £25 million. Now, Thierry Henry made his debut the opening day of the season at home to Leicester at Highbury. He came on as a substitute in the second half, and he looked very lively, really quick, and he got himself into some great positions, but unfortunately he missed about 3 chances in that game to have scored on his debut, and that sort of summed up really the early part of that season, really, his first few games for the club. He'd gone the first 7 games without scoring. He'd started at the next sort of 3 or 4. He then was on the bench a couple of times, came on, getting into some great positions, but just couldn't put the ball away. He seemed to lack a little bit of composure in front of goal. And it wasn't until I say the 18th of September, in his 8th appearance, when he finally broke his duck. And it was a great goal as well, wasn't it? If you remember, it was Tony Adams that brought the ball out of defence. Thierry Henry was on the edge of the box, with his back to goal, took the ball. It was a nice turn and a great finish into the corner, and it was a great celebration as well. He ran over to the far corner where the Arsenal fans were. If you'd ever been to the Dell to watch Arsenal, it was always a great away day, wasn't it? There was a great pub actually opposite the ground, wasn't there? I can't remember what it was called now. We always used to go in there. It was a really good day out at Southampton. We always seemed to play them as well away from home, either early in the season or late in the season when the sun was out. It always seemed to be warm. It was always a great day. And this particular day, of course, again, it was sunny, and it was a great occasion as well, a great moment to be there. It's one of those I was there moments, isn't it? Thierry Henry's first goal for the club. Now, after that, we all thought he was going to go on a really good run. The following midweek, we had a Champions League game at Wembley against Swedish side Solna. Now, this was the last season where we'd play our Champions League home games at Wembley. Now this was a game we was expected to win quite comfortably, but it was 1-1, and we were struggling to win the game. Thierry Henry came off the bench again, and again he scored a goal. We scored two late goals to win 3-1, 2 goals in 2 games. It looked as though he was going to push on and really start his goal scoring run, but he was still learning the centre forward role. He was still learning about finishing really, and he went another 8 games without scoring, 8 appearances without scoring. He'd been left out of the squad a few times. He'd been sat on the bench a few times without getting on. He'd got on a couple of times, and he just wasn't able to finish these chances off. But it all changed for him. Late November 1999, a home game against Derby County. Arsene Wenger put him in from the start this time, the first time he'd started a game for a while, in the centre forward position, and that was the game that really kick-started his career. He scored both goals that day as we won 2-1, and the first goal in particular would become the trademark Thierry Henry goal, if you like. He got the ball out on the left hand side, and sort of moved across and fired it into the far corner across the goalkeeper. I mean, how many goals did he end up scoring like that for us over the years? Lots and lots, and that was the first of those goals. And in the second half at the North Bank end, he scored another one as well, another cool finish as well. And it seemed as though the penny had dropped then. He had this composure in front of goal suddenly, and that was it then. The rest of the season, he made another 30 appearances and scored 24 goals in the rest of that season. So he finished his first season at that club with 47 appearances and 26 goals. Which of course was a great return, and of course he would go on from that moment there, wouldn't he, and become not only one of the greatest players to ever play for Arsenal, but one of the greatest players to ever play in the Premier League. I mean, just unbelievable, wasn't he? What a fantastic player he was. What a pleasure it was for us as Arsenal fans to be able to watch him playing for us every week, scoring those goals that he scored. And of course he ended up beating Ian Wright's goal scoring record, not that long after Ian Wright had beat it himself. You remember it stood since the 1930s with Cliff Bastin. Ian Wright of course overtook it in September 1997, and of course it was 2004, wasn't it, when or 2005, when Thierry Henry finally overtook that record, and of course he ended up increasing it to 228 goals. He still remains the only Arsenal player to score more than 200 goals for the club. Of course, this week, another great striker wearing number 14, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, has signed his new 3-year contract. I'm not sure whether or not he's going to get anywhere near to Thierry Henry's record. Of course, Aubameyang's currently on 72 goals in 3 years. He'd have to go some, wouldn't he, to put that record under threat. Let's just hope he maybe signs another contract and stays a bit longer, because he would have a potential chance to get that record. It's a shame maybe he didn't join the club a little bit early in his career, isn't it? Because he could really have put some pressure on that total. But the same as Ian Wright, I guess, as well. If Ian Wright had maybe joined Arsenal 2 or 3 years earlier, he could have set a record that maybe even Thierry Henry might not have beaten. So, but of course, the record's there. But of course, it all started on this day, as I say, in 1999, with that goal down at Southampton in the sunshine, where Thierry Henry scored the winning goal that day, the first of his record total for the club. So that's that video there today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I say please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. I've got some great stuff coming up over this weekend. I've got 3 live shows booked in on Saturday for the game. There'll be one once the team's announced about 7 o'clock in the evening. There'll be one at half time with a report on how the game's going, and then another report at full time as well. Hopefully I can be reporting on another good win for Arsenal, keep us top of the league, second win in a row. That would be fantastic if we can do that. Then on Monday night I'll have my new regular Premier League weekend preview, looking back over the weekend's games, and also I'll have an in-depth analysis of the Arsenal West Ham game as well, probably on Sunday. That will come out, so look out for that as well. Also, as well, if you missed my live show last night, it was the second of my Positive Arsenal podcasts. I had some great guests on. We had some great debates and conversations about the start of the season for Arsenal, what we've enjoyed about the rest of the Premier League season so far as well, and looking ahead of course to the West Ham game. So if you didn't see that last night, please check it out on my channel. It was a great show. So let's have a day. You enjoyed that. So stay tuned to the channel, because I say there's some great stuff coming up on match day, and of course going forward as well. Looking forward to as well, of course, a big game we've got next Monday, haven't we? A week on Monday, away at Liverpool. It's going to be a good game, that as well. So there'll be some stuff on that as well. Plus, hopefully, some good transfer news to come, ins and outs. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline, isn't there? A few players maybe on the verge of leaving, and hopefully 1 or 2 in particular on the way in. But anything that comes through, I will obviously I'll do a video and keep you all informed of what's happening. So that's it for today. I say thanks for tuning in, thanks for supporting the channel, and as always, we always finish the same way, don't we? Come on, you Gunners!